That is an excellent question. I'm so happy that you asked me this. I am 100% a dark chocolate person all the way.
Really?
Oh my God. That like so the chocolate chips that I'm eating right now
Yeah.
are 72%. And I'm obsessed. Are you a milk chocolate person?
I am.
Really?
I am. I don't know. I mean, I like dark chocolates in the chocolate chip cookies,
Yes.
but not normally just to eat on their own.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm dark chocolate all the way. I will eat milk chocolate if like so once in a while. Like I'm not a big candy person,
Oh,
but
I
like
am.
once in a while M&Ms just like hit that spot, right?
Yeah.
And so like that's milk chocolate.
Yeah.
But I am 100% a dark chocolate person all the way.
Wow. Okay. Wait, do you like licorice too?
I don't like licorice.
Okay. Because I was going
Yeah.
to say, I feel like those sort of go together, but maybe not. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like licorice. I'm trying to think of like my sweet tooth definitely falls more in like I'm an ice cream person. I love
Yes.
cookies.
Yes.
I'm not like if cake is there, I'll eat it. I'm not like, but I don't go out of my way necessarily for cake.
Truer words have never been said.
Literally,
Here.
I'd rather have my cake get eaten.
I'm just saying.
I'd rather have my cake get frosted. What does Christina Aguilera say? Like, put your icing on my cake, you nasty naughty boy. But yeah, but candy, I don't know. Like, it was a thing when I was a kid. I mean, I think all kids love candy, but then as
Right.
I've gotten older, it's more. I'm a baked good.
See,
like,
and I'm just like the complete opposite. I'm like a sugar junkie. I want Pez. I want Pixie Sticks. I want Fun Dip. I want anything that is pure sugar. Just like
my friend Michael loves he loves gummies. So like, and it's crazy because he has like this like my friend Michael, he's stunning, and he has like this like beautiful svelte tiny little like bod.
Right, and lives on candy.
And lives on candy.
Twink. Twink.
I was like, I'm like, Michael, I'm like, because like I will see, like we've been out and like I will just, or we'll like watch like Drag Race together or whatever, and he just like nibbles on his candy. And I'm just like, you'd have to roll me out of here,
right.
like Violet from Willy Wonka after.
I've got a blueberry for a daughter.
Exactly.
It's very that.
So you, first of all, welcome back to Homophonic, everybody.
Hi, y'all.
Hi. For those of you that I've realized again as a host, I always just assume that people just know who we are and just assume that like they're just dialing right in and they've been with us the whole time.
Friends of the pod.
Friends of the pod. Everyone's a friend of the pod these days. But I am Zach. My name is Zach. Some of you probably know me from HOMOPHONIC on Instagram. And then John Michael here, DJ extraordinaire.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Like I was gonna say like he makes mixes. He
does. He works at Peloton. He DJs his own events. He just got back from Miami Music Week. He hasn't slept much.
Yeah, he said bus,
all of these things are
club, plane, next place.
I hate that online they always cut it off before the end of that clip where she's like, no sleep, nobody believed in me. I'm like, that's the part I need at the end.
Yes, nobody believed in me. Right.
Nobody believed in me.
Exactly. That's so real. But you just dropped, speaking of Peloton, you just dropped your remix on the platform for Major Laser's Lean On.
It's kind of crazy. I'm not even going to lie. Like when we were asked, I was very, very shocked. I don't know. I think I was also shocked because it's 10 years this month that the song came out, which is just absolute insanity to me.
That blows my mind. It feels like yesterday.
Oh my God. Wait, speaking of yesterday, before we go any further, yesterday I believe was the day that Rihanna's umbrella turned 18.
She's legal?
She's legal to drink?
She's legal to drink in Canada, maybe?
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. No. She can vote. She's legal to vote. She's legal to vote.
She can vote. She can vote.
Yeah.
She can serve. She's been serving, but she can serve
in
the military.
She can take her umbrella to the voting booth.
That's right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, 18. So it's kind of mad. And I'm like, I never really imagined doing a remix of that song. I think it's just one of those things that now has been so omnipresent in like the world. It's like over 2 billion streams on Spotify alone. It's like something really crazy like that. But yeah, so like
It's crazy to think about because like I remember when that song came out, it was one of those songs that I never hated, but I was never obsessed with either.
Right,
It just kind of like was like right there in the middle for me. I was like, I could take it or leave it.
It feels like one day it showed up and then it was just everywhere, and it's been everywhere since.
It's been everywhere since, and it's you said how many billion streams?
Over 2 billion on Spotify alone.
That's crazy.
That is absolutely crazy.
I would have, if you would have told me that the song would have seen that much success, like when it first came out, I'd be like,
right.
Yeah, probably not.
Right. And I also read, just because I was like going down a rabbit hole, that Diplo from Major Lazer had actually offered a slower, like more reggae version of this song to both Nicki Minaj and Rihanna, who turned it down.
Yeah, well, I was going to bring that up because I remember reading part of that interview that he gave around the time that the song came out, and he apparently played her the song, and Rihanna's response was, "I don't do house music." And I like laughed because I've made a meme about this, and then people try to drag me being like, "It's not house," but like house music is a form of dance music. Correct. And I was like, Rihanna has many dance songs. So
what do you mean?
So I was like, when you don't do house music, I was like, okay, so you just really shat on Don't Stop the Music,
right.
Only Girl, We Found Love.
Right. Literally, you're working with Calvin Harris. What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is what you came for. Like, arguably your biggest hits. Right. I was like, okay, but like, go off, Queen. But isn't that crazy how these things work out though? Like
it is. And I feel like it's weird because like I hear like random stories about things like this in the industry sometimes, and I'm like, all right, I would like to think that everybody sort of, I don't need everybody to understand all the subgenres of dance music, not at all, because there's too many and people are too particular about them. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just imagine that someone like Rihanna would know the difference, because even if you hear that song originally, like this is like clearly Moombahton. Like this is not that's not a house song.
Right. But. And I love that you just mentioned Moombahton because I have been, so the last 2 days so backtrack. As you know, I bought the deluxe version of Mayhem for the bonus tracks, specifically Can't Stop the High, which I then, like a frantic person. So right behind my computer that I'm recording from, I have an old desktop Mac that is from like 2011, 2012. Work. Like she's old. She's got a CD. So it's, I think, the last kind that had like the CD-ROM.
Yeah, she doesn't do house music anymore either.
She does not do house music. She doesn't do a lot. She doesn't do a lot. She kind of just sits there. She kind of looks at me.
That might be my new line. She doesn't do house music anymore.
She doesn't do house music anymore. I love that. And so, long story short, I was like, I need to put this song on my phone. How do I get this song on my phone? And one would think that like, oh, you just like plug your phone into your computer. Well, I forget what generation this phone is, but they're not very compatible.
Right.
And like this computer is so old that like it's on the final update, like it doesn't update any further. So anyway, but thank God for Apple, and like with their magic or whatever, I was able to upload the song to my iCloud library, which then transfers to my Apple Music.
Yes.
Thank God. So that said, once I learned how to do that, I have been uploading all the shit that I have that is
She's
not
ready.
Oh my gosh. For everything that's like everything that's either like not on streaming, whether it's like been officially released or like fan made stuff, my own edits that I've made. And I have been a crazy person. And it's funny though, because it's not like, again, it works, but it takes a second. Right. So like there are moments, and then there were moments throughout it where like, I don't know what happened, but like it uploaded to my phone, but then everything was skipping. So I had to like remove it and then do it again.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if I'm going to show you really quick. I was laughing so hard, and Z Machine will probably appreciate this. So again, everything that is just like not on streaming currently, including the plethora of remixes. We're scrolling here of Britney Spears' Me Against the Music. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that right here, I want to say there's 23 remixes.
And there's probably even more out there in the world.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. These are just the official ones that I have.
Right.
Like, and it doesn't even, it's not even everything. Like I don't have, like, what's missing is.
Wait, do you want to hear the crazy stuff? Is that, so in Miami Music Week, there's a
Yeah.
big record label called Anjuna Beats, and they are an Australian label, and they do like very sort of like very pretty trance, like usually very uplifty. Like you would probably know a
Yeah.
bunch of the artists.
Hmm.
Anyway, somebody couldn't make it down there, I think, because of their visa, so they swapped in Gabriel and Dresden, and they were going to jump in and take their set. And I saw them post about it on Instagram, and in my sick brain, my first thought, which I knew was completely incorrect, was like, "Huh, I wonder if they'll play their Me Against the Music remix." At Miami Music Week 2025.
I'm not even kidding. Did they do it?
No.
Oh.
No, I have no idea. I mean, I didn't see the set. I was running around Miami like a crazy person. But it made me laugh so hard
funny.
to myself.
No, this is why this works, because
Right.
that's exactly where my brain went.
I know.
Immediately. It's a great remix.
It is, and one of my favorite club memories that I have from like the early 2000s is being at Limelight. I was seeing Gomi was spinning. Who, if you don't know Gomi, he was sort of like one of the engineers that did a lot of remix work for Junior Vasquez and Frankie Knuckles and whatever, and all these guys from then. And he was playing, and he played that mix because I think it was new at the time. While he was playing, he had a 4-piece violin section come in, and for about a half hour starting there, just played live over everything he was playing in the DJ booth from the floor, looking up into the second floor.
So cool.
I had never seen anything like it. And every time I hear that song, but specifically that remix, that's exactly what it takes me back to. It's wild.
That's incredible. I love shit like that.
Yeah,
whenever I see like live instrumentation paired with DJing, that's like so cool. But these like Me Against the Music remixes, like again, a lot of these I have not revisited in a minute because again, they're not on streaming. There's this like a hip hop inspired remix called the Dragon Man remix that I absolutely love. And I have to say, you know what's interesting is that Me Against the Music is not one of my favorite Britney or Madonna songs in its original form.
Okay.
In its original form. But I appreciate it for what it is, but it's just not. But
sure.
It's one of those songs where I'm like, these remixes.
Wait, but which one is your favorite?
Of the remixes?
Yeah, because the Gabriel and Dresden was the one that I used to play when it came out. I love that one the most.
So I was gonna say, if we're talking about the club remixes, because again, there's several different styles. Like if we want to talk about dance music in different styles,
yeah,
this is a great remix EP to kind of talk about that. So we've got like the club dance remixes. I would say what the Gabriel and Dresden club mix is more like progressive house, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Ish.
at that time, yeah.
So that was one of my favorites. But I also loved the breakbeat remix, which was the Terminal Head mix. Loved that, which I think was only exclusive to like the European audiences.
Oh, for sure. I think it might have been on one of the import singles.
Yeah. But then if we're talking about like the more hip hop, urban leaning remixes, like you had, I think I would say the Dragon Man remix.
I love the Rishi Rich.
The Rishi Rich, the Desi Culture remix.
I love that.
Love that one.
Where is he? Get him on the phone. Seriously. Paging Rishi Rich.
Literally, he did so many really cool remixes during that time period for different artists. I remember he did a remix for Craig David. He had a song called Spanish that he did a remix for that was really good. I want to say that he also did a remix for this is
say it.
I'm just laughing because again, I love that we do this so much because I'm laughing because I was like, hey, do you want to record an episode about Celine Dion?
And yet we have not mentioned her once.
And not once. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to her. We will get to her. But instead we're talking about Rishi Rich, and I was going to say his remix of I Don't Care by Ricky Martin featuring
I was such a fan of that song.
It's so good.
It's so good. I was such a fan of that. I mean, I'm a fan of Ricky Martin in general, but that one specifically, I thought really, that's a song we don't talk about enough.
It really is a song that we don't talk about enough. It's like, for those of you that don't know Ricky Martin's I Don't Care, it was a Scott Storch production. So it's that very like Y2K, like Middle Eastern hip hop inspired leaning track. It featured A-Marie and Fat Joe, I think. And there were, again, a plethora of remixes, including Rishi Rich. There were some dance remixes. There were some reggaeton remixes. It was a banger.
I loved it.
And I want to say, did this song come out before or after he came out? I want to say it was after.
I think it was like right after.
right after, but
Yeah.
he's still like cosplaying being straight.
Right. And I'm just like, oh, he's an actor. He's playing a character.
Exactly. And I remember the part where he's like, blow, blow, blow. And in the lyrics.
This made me spit my water out.
But I just remember always just being like, blow, blow, blow.
I mean, I see you,
Okay.
Miss Martin.
Exactly. I was like, don't have to tell me twice.
Right.
Oh my God.
I feel like he was like the first man that I can really remember, like as like a out blossoming gay man, or in my teenage years, that I was just like, I would throw it all away for you. I would throw everything away for you. And he's remained that
Wow.
man. I love him. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm somewhere between Ricky Martin and Maluma. You can see that there's a type.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But it's
and both can absolutely get it.
right.
Like, please,
And,
absolutely.
and on their song too, another great song just beyond that, Vente Pa' Ca. Love.
You know what? I knew that they had a song. I don't know if I've ever actually listened to it.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
It really is good, and there's good remixes of it too.
I need to dive into that. I need to dive into. Maybe I'll have a little Ricky Martin moment later today. And
oh,
maybe
I am ready for that episode.
And maybe like I need to look into again my archives and see what I have of his and see if I can transfer it to my phone, because let me tell you, I was a crazy person this weekend, and it's just some of the things that I found that were just so funny to me that I was like, oh, this has to go on my phone. Like,
what am I going to do without the Johnny Rocks remix of anything?
I'm not even kidding. What did I put on my phone was the Johnny Rocks remix of Cher's A Different Kind of Love Song.
Oh, and that's so good.
It really is. And then just like, I mean, everything from that to some like more like they're unofficial remixes, but they're really good, like the Country Club Martini Crew remix.
Oh, he just does great work.
Great work.
He really does, and is like a really nice guy.
His remixes of Sia's Move Your Body. Really
so
good.
So good.
The entire remix package for Ariana Grande's Problem.
Yep.
I like the remix, all the remix packages for Beyonce's like self-titled album, like Glow and Partition, bonus tracks from Britney. I mean, just like everything, and then like little edits that I've made over the years and things like that, and just like it was a lot of fun to like revisit. Yeah, I was having a blast.
I wish I was an Apple Music girly, and I feel like I really have to like get into that, because it does, even just like when you show your phone, like it looks just from an organizing perspective so much easier, because like I've been on Dropbox for so long, and that's where most of my stuff that's not on streaming lives. But it is a pain in the ass to go to Dropbox and do this, because it's not meant to be a streaming service like that.
I was going to say, when you go to Dropbox, are you just like listening?
I'm just listening to the file. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just the file in my Dropbox. But
right.
I mean, some of the stuff that I have is like really random and obscure. So it's like,
well, I mean, I'm always texting you being like, do you happen to have that? Like, you're the only person in the world that I know.
And I'm like, yeah, I think I do. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I think I do.
You do. And so like I asked you, well, and again, another artist that I was laughing about that I revisited, I texted you about it over the weekend, was Cello. I think that's how you say his name, Cello.
I think so.
And his song, he was like a one-hit wonder is probably being gracious. At least in the English speaking worlds, he had a song called Cha Cha that was like this, I don't even know how you describe it. It's like a hip hop blend Latin, kind of like an old school like swing style horn.
It's Lou Bega adjacent.
Yeah, like a more like cooler quote unquote version of Lou Bega.
right.
But like I was obsessed with that song from like 2006, and so like I saw that, and then like I had the remixes by like Dave Auday and LEX, which I was like, oh, these have to go on here.
You know what else I just thought of? Now I got to look it up on Spotify in the moment, because when you say 2006, or whenever I think of 2006, like it was such an odd time in dance music, I feel.
Yeah.
Because like it was in that transitional moment where we were kind of like, club life was changing, the clubs weren't being open in America as long, radio formats were changing, and even the technology was changing before we got to like this straight up like David Guetta kind of like madness of it all. Do you remember a song called No Strings by Lola? It was just one random track.
No.
Oh my God.
I don't know that one.
It's literally just, let me see. It doesn't look like it exists on Spotify. Of course not. It was the song that came out. I feel like Dave O'Day might have been involved in it too. Maybe he did a remix, but I think it was Josh Harris was the remix that I like to play. It's totally a song about just casual sex, and it's great, and you would absolutely love it. And I'm going to find it and
We
send it to
love a
you.
song. We love a song about casual sex.
Right. I
Let me
can't
tell
believe
you
it's not on
what.
streaming. That sucks.
Yeah, the only Lolas
But
that I know, well, there's 3 Lolas that I know. I know, obviously, Madonna's daughter, Lola. And then there is the song Lola, written by Lady Gaga, performed by Valeria,
yes.
which is like this random ass song that I absolutely love. And then there is when J-Lo was kind of having one of her flop era moments,
Uh-oh.
and she had her alter ego Lola, and she recorded, it was her first Pitbull collaboration, fresh out the oven.
Yes, I love that one.
It's so good,
I
and it's
did
produced by
love that.
Pharrell.
Yes.
And I want to say the music video was directed by Hype Williams, I believe.
Probably.
And it's not on streaming. It should be on streaming. It had a flawless remix package.
It did.
And do you remember that time when, like, I want to say it was shortly after Beyonce came out with I Am Sasha Fierce, and I feel like all the girls for like a split second had like an alter ego moment.
Yes.
Because like Jennifer Lopez had Lola. I want to say, let's see, Brandy had 2. She was either B Rocka or Brand New, if she was like rapping on a song. Mary J. Blige had Brooklyn.
Right. Where was Madonna at this point? Is this MDNA?
No, this was like 2008, 2009.
Oh, so this is okay.
So this would have been Hard Candy era, and she was M Dalla.
M Dalla. I mean, look, it's just saying, the girls are the girls, and the girls are girling.
The girls were girling, and God, I love that time period. Yeah, it was crazy.
Can you imagine? But can you imagine if somebody like Celine Dion did something like that?
What would her?
If she was just like, call me C Dalla,
C Dalla, C Money,
right?
Like, oh my gosh, and she does a little rap. I mean, she put it past her.
I mean, we've seen her rap before.
She would do it. She would do it.
You know, Celine Dion, very big in the Caribbean community. Or I should say Caribbean, not Caribbean. That's how Billy Ocean says it.
Is that because of Treat Her Like a Lady?
I don't think it's because of it.
Oh.
I don't think they heard that and was just like, this is the one. It's just every Caribbean person I know goes so hard for Celine Dion. Even if you've seen, was it Deezus from Deezus and Mero? Have you ever seen them?
No.
They were on. They had a Showtime show back in the day. But Deezus has talked about Celine Dion many times and how much he loves her, and like big fan of her. But yeah,
I love that. Oh my God, I love there is a like recording session of her recording "Treat Her Like a Lady."
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good, and it's so funny. Borderline parts, maybe a little, I don't want to say problematic, but it's just very of the time.
Right.
Where like there's one black man in the room, and as she's like looking over the lyrics, she like turns to him and is like doing like yo yo yo. It's just like, oh, Celine. But it's so funny. But like she then like goes on the mic, and then like my jaw hit the floor.
Just slays it. One of my favorite videos to watch is the recording sessions for the Taking Chances album. That whole little doc about it.
Ooh, I have not seen that.
Zach, oh my God, that is your homework.
Okay, that's my homework.
It's fantastic.
I need to look at that.
And it's got everybody's in it. Cara DiGuardia's in it. Like there's like all the producers, the piano players. Like it's so good. Umberto Gatica's in it.
Love.
Yeah.
Love. I mean, I'm glad that we're talking about her because she had a birthday this weekend. I mean,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I mean, Diva Week was last week.
Beyond.
We had birthdays / anniversaries for Aretha Franklin, Diana Ross, Mariah Carey, Lady Gaga, Celine Dion, and there was another person whose birthday it was that I didn't realize. And I was just like, okay, who wasn't born?
Right. And isn't that weird?
It was crazy. I mean, all of these iconic women.
Wait, and I need to figure out, my friend Lauren sent it to me because somebody posted about Mariah Carey and her birthday last week. And when they posted the caption, who was it? Oh, it was Vogue magazine. In Vogue magazine's thing, they actually put her age, the number And my friend Lauren sent to me and was just like, someone is absolutely getting fired today. I was like, not
somebody's
the
getting
number.
fired.
Right.
I'm not even kidding.
I know.
Oh my God.
Wild.
That's crazy. That's
But yeah.
crazy.
But I mean, a great time to celebrate all the girls.
Yeah. I mean, can we say it? Like, is she 59?
She's
57.
56.
56. Okay. 56. I mean,
I'm like 56.
56. I mean, she looks phenomenal.
Honestly,
50s are the new 30s at this point.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. She looks phenomenal. Yes, I recognize that she has a glam team and she's probably had Botox. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I don't care. Like, because if you think that that's easy too, then you've never had glam before.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. And I mean, she looks amazing. I mean, her skin looks amazing.
Right. Look, let me tell you, any time I have done any type of like photo, video, whatever stuff for Peloton, like you always have time for glam. And even on me, like I'm not getting makeup, but like it's a whole process. Like when they want the best of these photos, these makeup artists, people I don't think realize the girl Lindsay that I work with, who's phenomenal, by the way, she will do a full on like facial massage first to like get everything relaxed for the best application of the creams and the lotions to make your skin look good, and do the whole skincare routine and do stuff for the beard and do the eyebrows. It's like, it's a whole thing just for me, let alone Mariah fucking Carey. Right.
I'm jealous. I want to get that done.
Right. I mean, but it's very, very rare that I do that, but it's like, it is a process. And, sure, am I putting it on myself? No, but it takes a minute. And trust me, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. And yeah, I mean, they all look amazing.
The girls need glam. Why are you going to argue about the glam?
Yeah, and like it's what we want. It's what we want. That's what they're doing it for.
Right. I watched an interview with Cher once, and she said, she's like, I don't know how I win this game, because if I didn't do all of this, everybody would be like, oh, have you seen poor Cher? She's a toothless old hag. But if I do it, then you're mad about that too.
Right. Yeah. It's like, what do you want? It's the ageism is so crazy. I mean, someone yesterday on Twitter, I started responding, and then I was like, Zach, stop responding to people who don't have their face showing on social media. Right. Like, it's just not worth it. Right. I don't care how big the account is. It is not worth it.
Right.
Excuse me. And someone shared a photo that it was Celine Dion's birthday, and they were like, I thought she was in her 70s. I think Celine is also 56 or 57.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, the way that they were like, I thought that she was in her 70s. I was just kind of like, what is, again, to your point, what is Celine Dion or any woman, regardless if they're a pop star or not, what are they supposed to do?
Right.
Like if they get plastic surgery or Botox or get the glam or a mixture or whatever, you criticize them for doing too much. But then if they just let themselves age gracefully, you talk about how old they are.
Right.
And it's not that they're old. The implication behind that is that they are ugly, undesirable, a has-been.
Yep. And you know what? I watched an interview actually last night with Nikki Glaser, the comedian.
Yeah.
And I think she was on Jimmy Kimmel or no, Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
Confused. Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
And he was asking her about like Ozempic and like all this other like, taking care of yourself and like doing whatever. And she was just like, you know what? She was like, the only people that are mad about Ozempic are other thin people. She was like, they don't want you to be thin. She's like, because you have a dynamic personality and you're a good person. She was like, and that's being thin is all they have.
Yeah.
She's like, and now all of a sudden, all these thin people are like, but what about the medication when you've never cared about it before? And it was really
never cared about it before. That I saw that same interview. It was so good.
But it is true though.
It is true. And it really got me thinking about people. It got me, you know what it got me thinking about? Pretty privilege. It got me thinking about pretty privilege and how there are so many people in this world who have had advantages based on how attractive they are.
1000%.
Which is often synonymous with being either thin or really fit, like, kind of like the quote unquote lean muscular bod, right? That's like the idyllic body that everyone seems to kind of gravitate to. And I don't know, it's just fascinating because I think there's a lot of people who don't realize that exists. We could go deep into this.
Oh
And
yeah, that's a whole different
I mean,
episode.
we could go deep into this, but I guess the reason why I was thinking about it, because I've seen kind of both sides of it, because I was naturally I'm a heavier person.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up my entire life kind of being like the chubby kid, and then going into high school, early adult years, I was like I yo-yoed between that and like the quote unquote skinny fat, if you
Right,
will,
right.
and was constantly being criticized for my appearance, especially on like the dating apps.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2019, I uh, went on a date with this guy who, leading up to the date, we hit it off, like texting all the time, had like lots of really great conversations. I got to the date was great. When I left and we were walking to the car, he glanced down and saw my stomach, and the energy shift, it was like he saw a ghost.
Stop it.
I'm not even kidding. This was June 2019. It was like 2 weeks before my birthday. And I will never forget it. It was the straw that broke the camel's back, where I was like, I'm going to show not only you,
Right.
I'm going to show everyone.
Right.
And then that's where this came from.
Got it. I was going to say, because I don't know how long you've looked like this.
It's only been since 2019.
Right.
And let me tell you.
That's crazy, girl. Your body, like, honestly, your body's ridiculous. Like, good for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I guess I just say all of this because it's like, because then at that same time though, that's when body positivity really took a turn into the mainstream. And so then all of the sudden there's all this conversation about like being thicker is hot and all of this stuff. And then here I am losing weight. And actually back in 2020, I got probably a little too thin, but like, and then I was getting criticized for that.
And you know what? And that's, I will say, one of the blessings of working at a place like Peloton and being in this ecosystem is kind of seeing it firsthand and getting to the point now where I realize that, like what I was saying with Cher, like there is no real winning when it comes to this. So you can't live your life for people online, because what I also realize is that when I've been too much of either way, somebody has something to say. But the reality is that most of the people in my DMs, most of the people that I speak to say overwhelmingly positive things. Now, I've lost weight recently, and, you know, it's been a lot of work. I'm not going to lie, but it's one of the coaches, Christine, that I work with, she always says, and it, you know, when you're around this stuff for so long, it starts to sink in. You know, she always says that you're big, so much bigger than a smaller pair of pants. And it really,
I love that.
And it really is. Like, sometimes, like, I know we think some of these things are hokey, but like she said it, and she always says it, and I just, it stuck in my head, because it really is that. Like, I would be right now where I'm at, would be that sort of skinny, fat, weird, whatever. But I am so much happier right now than I have been in a very, very long time. So I'm like, you can feel however you want about me. I don't actually care. What is it? I think I saw RuPaul say it. If you're not feeding me, financing me, or fucking me, it doesn't really matter. Sorry, babe.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it has to be freeing. You have to let it go, because really, girl, if they're not happy about the body you have right now, I'm sorry, bitch, that's jealousy.
It's just great. I mean, I think that just now, I think that it's just kind of like, I don't know, dating is just strange. Like behind the scenes, I mean, I haven't talked about it much on the podcast, but fuck it, I'll be vulnerable, but I'll be honest. And, you know, I recently was ghosted and by someone that I had been going out with for about 5 weeks. Now, granted, we never defined the relationship.
Sure.
And for about 2 to 3 weeks after the fact, I won't lie, like I was really fucked up in my head about like what the fuck happened. And it was never a physical thing, and because we did get in contact and we had a nice conversation after the fact, but he stated that it was never like a physical thing. But that's where my brain immediately went. When I was like, oh, it must have been that like I wasn't physically enough for him.
Right.
You know?
That's the way it always feels.
Yeah. Or I wasn't masculine enough for him or whatever. Because that's another thing, is that people will like message me and be like, and as we're talking, they'll be like, oh, sorry, you're they'll be like, I'm looking for someone who's masked.
Right.
And I'm like, what
I
about these photos of me right now?
But not even that, and I'm sorry, like, and I not to be crude and crass on the pod, but you have sex with men. Like, there's
Just
not
saying.
like, I don't know what masculine you're looking for. Like, it's it's an aesthetic. I understand that. Like, there's things, it's preferences. People could be attracted to different, they sure, whatever. But it's like the mask thing really does get me, because I'm like, if you're making out with a man and you're doing whatever, like, by traditional standards, you're not masculine.
Just saying.
You know, if you want to define yourself by that binary, which was created by heterosexual people, that's
Yeah.
up to you, boo. But
Yeah.
that's not masculinity, is what you're looking for. It's a fetish, and that's totally fine. You can have a masculinity fetish, which
Yeah.
feels toxic to me, but that's not what masculinity is.
So maybe this is the question for the social media audience. This is what I need to know. What define masculine? Define
Ooh.
masculine and define feminine. What does that actually mean? What does that actually mean? Because I guarantee, because I look, don't get me wrong. I mean, you've seen my boots, you've seen my shoes,
Yes.
you've seen my outfits. We all have seen my outfits, and I understand that, yes, I can look fairly flamboyant at times, and I love that, and I'm living my best life, and I don't
Yes.
really care what people think about that. However, I also look at a lot of my outfits, and I look at the photos of myself, and I'm like, what exactly isn't masculine?
Right.
Like
Right.
help me understand, because again, these people I'm talking to on, Grinder or whatever, and I'm like, you're not hearing my voice, you're just seeing a photo of me, and let's be honest, usually I'm not
Right.
wearing a lot.
Right.
And
Right.
and so I'm like, what what are you seeing that you're like,
I'm telling you right now, it's the
hmm,
clothes. People have a visceral reaction to clothing. Because you know what it is? I think when people talk about masculinity in this context, my take
mm-hmm,
on it is that they want somebody who isn't clockable, like the girls would say, like the dolls would say.
sure,
They don't
yeah,
want to be clocked. They don't want to be in public. They don't want to have the attention. They're not comfortable with their own levels of masculine and feminine within themselves. So
yeah,
the idea of being with somebody who would attract attention in a way, in a public sphere, to something what they can conceive to be negative, is where I
yeah,
think this all derives from, because they I don't know what else it could possibly be. If you want to say, hey, you know what, you wear pink boots and I don't like pink boots, well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they're just, it's an article of clothing.
right,
Like, you're not
yeah,
talking about me, because when I'm with you and all the clothes come off, I'm
mm-hmm.
very much a man.
I'm very much the pink boot.
You know.
I'm
You're like, no, but actually.
actually, I take this all off, and actually, surprise, I'm a pink boot.
And girl, we love you for it. And that's exactly the way that it should be.
and
But
and yeah, no, you're so right. And and I think the thing that kind of broke my heart a little bit about this whole situation is that the thing that I loved about this guy, sorry, I shouldn't say loved. I mean, when I say, well, I'm gonna say loved. Was not in love. It was too
right,
short for
right,
that.
right.
But the thing that I really enjoyed was that he met me in one of my more flamboyant outfits. I was wearing
Got it.
pink metallic pants with black combat boots. I was wearing a black corset, and then this like cutouts, like fitted top underneath the corset. So like it was a statement, and it was a moment. And it, this is the only time someone that I've ever been interested in like a romantic sexual way, that said, I love your vibe, and was like, all, and and I think that's why it broke my heart so much, because I was like, oh my God, I think I just met someone that like loves me for me, or like likes me for me, and so I don't know. It was just one of those things where it was really challenging, because then of course when the ghosting happened, then I like second guessed everything, and you know doesn't make it easier that like I'm approaching 40, and I'm being all like uh in my head about that as well, and so anyway, it was just one of those moments of,
Right.
just makes you think about, it makes me think of every pretty privilege, age privilege, like all of these things. And yeah, just a wild time to be alive.
It really is, and it's that's why I feel like I wish that people. I mean, we're recording this on Transgender Day of Visibility as it is, and I feel like people would sort of. I wish that they would drop that binary way of thinking because it's patriarchy keeps us all trapped.
It really does.
But
trapped.
yes.
But
so, what do you say to taking chances?
You know what?
We've covered a lot of mental health things today.
We certainly have. And I have to say, what do I say to taking chances? That song will always hold a special place in my heart because that song came out when I first moved to Grand Rapids.
Oh, work.
So I want to say, like, I moved to Grand Rapids in the August of 2007. And so I forget when that single and album came out, but it was shortly around that. It was around that time, if not shortly after. And so I will always like think of first moving to Grand Rapids and being like, what are you saying? Taking chances.
It's so great. Like it hooks you immediately.
It does. And I just love that like pop rock sound from that time period.
So good. And she nailed it. She really did. The production on this album is fantastic too.
Fantastic. You're the one that pointed out, I remember back on the Pop Theory show, you had mentioned, was it Shadow of Love?
Oh, it's so good.
It's such a banger.
It really is.
Yeah, this is such a great album. And I really wish that like Eyes on Me had more of a moment.
I know. And actually, I'm not even going to lie. Like Shadow of Love might be my song we don't talk about enough.
I love that. Let's celebrate that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I could pick a lot because I feel like if we're doing a Celine thing, this is really hard to choose. But
yeah.
I will say, you, sir, when you put up your carousel for Celine, I was so excited for the inclusion of When the Wrong One Loves You Right.
That song, it's fucking slaps. I'm sorry. Like, it is such a good song. So that album, the A New Day Has Come album, that album I have a soft spot for because I think that came out around the time that came out, 2002. So it came out right as I was going on spring break with my grandparents. So I just had this very special memory of traveling down to Florida with them and just listening to that album, and just it felt very spring.
Oh, 1000%. Wait, so what is your favorite track if you had to pick from that album?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I mean, mine is always Sorry for Love. I mean, I know I've talked about this 9,000 times on the podcast.
Yeah, and there should be another 9,000 mentions. I would say Sorry for Love might also be my favorite, but I mean, when the long one.
Okay, Freudian slip.
Okay, when the long one loves you right. Let me tell you what.
Oh my God,
love that. I mean, that one's a banger.
Yeah.
Love that one. I love, this is tough. I'll go ahead for stakes purposes. I will say Sorry for Love as well. I'm going to be right there with you on that.
The little quirky one, and my friend, it always makes me think of my friend Phil, the rain tax. It's inevitable. It's so ridiculous. It's inevitable. Look, that's exactly what we say. It's inevitable.
It's so good. And then there's a song 10 Days.
Yes.
That's really good.
And her cover of what is it at the end, Nature Boy, the David Bowie.
Nature Boy's great. I mean, the title track, A New Day Has Come, is so good. I'm Alive.
Johnny Rock's remixes of I'm Alive. Love.
This is a Johnny Rock stan podcast.
It really, really is. Get her on the horn. Where's she doing?
What is she doing? She's probably collecting her rocks.
Right.
Looking for her rocks. And then there was like, I'm trying to remember. There were a couple bonus tracks, but this album blends in with One Heart, and I want to say some of the songs that were B-sides to some of the singles ended up on One Heart. So I'm trying to remember what is a bonus track and what like ended up on One Heart. But there was a song. Shoot, I don't remember the name of it now. I'll have to look.
Love Is All We Need.
Oh my God.
I love that one.
Shout out to Max Martin and the production of that track, because that song is an absolute banger. For those that don't know, Love Is All We Need, it's basically like Céline doing her best, like Britney 2001 style type of production. It's so good.
If you love, that's the way it is. You'll love Love Is All We Need.
Yes.
It's very that.
It's so good. And I mean, One Heart was so fun too. I mean, I love the song One Heart. I love the
Same.
video.
Yes. I mean, I Drove All Night is easily in my top 5 most favorite Celine songs ever.
Yeah. And the song I believe that you had mentioned again on Pop Theory and another in the past show, Reveal. Like honestly, Celine Dion, her dance songs are so good.
They really are.
They're so good. You had mentioned on the previous show, like, you know, it's a small window. She doesn't have a ton of them. I feel like as she got older into her career, especially like with A New Day Has Come, that then they started sprinkling more into her albums.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, she's known for her ballads.
But I mean, like, even like Misled, even Unison, if you want to go back to Unison, like that's a pretty like standard pop banger from the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, man, Misled, that song was on, our family had gotten, I mean, this is going to age me so bad. But this was back in the day of like when they would give like promotional CDs for your computer.
Yep.
And so I don't remember if we had gotten it with our family computer or if we'd gotten it in the mail or something, but it was this like enhanced CD. Shout out to enhanced CDs. And we popped it in, and I want to say it was from Sony Music, and it had like highlights of several artists on there, and you could watch their music videos. And one of them was Misled by Celine Dion.
And your life changed forever.
My life changed forever. I was like, just a page of my history. It's so good. I mean, a producer that does not get enough love, who was huge in this era of like the 90s dance divas, was Rick Wake.
Oh, God, without a doubt.
And he produced that song.
His credits are crazy.
It's nuts. I want to say that he also did work with J-Lo on like Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Yep.
Like he's done so much with the girls back then.
Oh yeah.
And really killed it.
Talking about, I want to go back to the computer CD thing for a minute, because I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast or if I've just told it on my own social media. So the very first CD that I ever owned was a free CD that came with a 6-pack of Coca-Cola, because they were doing this thing where it was like these 3-inch CDs that they would give out, and there was like 6 different volumes. Some were more pop, some were more maybe country or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just like a random bunch of songs. But the first song on the one that I got was Celine Dion's Where Does My Heart Beat Now? And I was like, the way I wore that CD out listening to that song.
I'm obsessed with that.
It is still, again, in my top 5, one of my most favorite Celine Dion songs. The vocal on that, I mean, the thing that's crazy about Celine's career is that whereas you think of like collaborations with other people or producers with other people, like I feel like a lot of it gets talked about more because they're more like your typical pop girls. But like, I'm sorry, like for me, Celine has always been that girl.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that she's not giving you like I'm a slave for you type pop, but like she's worked with so many incredible people. Like with this Tear, that ballad from Prince that he wrote that specifically for her, like that's wild.
Yeah.
You know, like there are like really like amazing iconic people that she's worked with, the Bee Gees and Yo-Yo Ma and like whatever, just like the craziest musicians. And I just love her so much, and she really like she deserves all the things.
She really does. And like in To Love You More, one of my maybe my favorite Celine Dion ballad.
And the Tony Moran remixes.
Tony Moran remixes. Talk about another, going back to the beginning of the episode where the things that I was putting on my phone, I put those on my phone. Actually, for one of our local drag queens, shout out to Gabriella Galore. She's so lovely.
Oh, what a great name.
If you love like Jules from this season of Drag Race, you would love
Yes,
Gabriella.
She's my favorite.
Yeah, every time I see Jules, I think of Gabriella. It's like I love Gabriella so much. She is such a lovely human being. So shout out to her. But months ago, I had ran into her at a restaurant, and it was right after one of her performances. She performed To Love You More at an event that I was at. And I was like, I just want to let you know that's one of my favorite Celine Dion songs. And I was like, did you know that there are dance remixes to that song? And she was like, no. And I was like, I have to do some digging, but let me hook you up with those remixes.
Yeah.
And so what I did, I took a step further. I made several slow to fast edits for her to perform, because I was like, we love drama, right? We love drama.
Yes.
And so I was like, let me not make just one or two, but here's 4 edits for you. I was like, have at it, have
There's
fun.
her side hustle.
And I'm not even kidding. Like that, I would love to do that. If there are drag queens out there that want me to make special edits for your performances, hit me up.
And let me tell you, I really hope that somebody hears this and does, because if there was one thing that was always my gripe when I was working at Paradise down in Asbury Park, when the girls would come to perform and they would give me their music, some of it was the lowest quality things I've ever heard ripped from the internet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I cannot, like, this sounds so painful on a club sound system that I would trust that any edit you make is going to be high quality. So please, if you are out there and you need some music, please reach out to Zach.
Let's please. But and to love you more, one thing that I like love so much is like the live performance version that's on YouTube. I love when she brings in Taro Hakase and she goes, Taro Hakase.
Yes.
It's just so funny to me, just the way that she says it, and I'm just kind of like, I love that about Celine Dion. She's just so quirky and fun, and she's
so herself.
She's so herself, and she's here to perform, and she knows that.
Right.
She's so real and down to earth.
Well, and also an actual ally too. Like she did the whole gender non-conforming children's clothing line collaboration a few years ago.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
it was
God,
like a whole,
I love that.
I think she worked with a Canadian company called Nunu, I want to say, if I get that right. But it was like a whole thing, and she gave this whole interview about how she was taking her sons to Disney, and and she was like, how come you don't want to play with Mickey Mouse, but they were more interested in Minnie Mouse? And she's like, she thought it was weird, but then she's like, you know what? The children are going to tell you who they are, so let them be who they want to be. And I'm like,
I love that.
You're my mom. I'm like, Mom, you're just mother. Like I love her. I really do just love her.
She's so wonderful. And it seems like she's doing well with her health.
I am so happy
journey.
about it.
And so, I mean, who knows if she'll, fully perform on, a full concert again. But I mean, I just, you know what? Again, she's 57. She's living her life, and like I say, like, if you need to retire,
girl,
retire. You've earned it, and like let us do the celebrating for you.
Right, the catalog is strong.
The catalog is strong, and we have got suggestions for reissues.
Yes,
so
yes, we do.
We can like celebrate that, and because like I love her.
Yeah. Think Twice. Oh my God. She could do whatever she wants. Once she gave us Think Twice, that song. You could retire after that one for me, boo.
I mean, also like her most recent studio album, Courage.
Incredible.
I mean, incredible. Flying on My Own.
Incredible.
Again, another incredible dance song. Like that song, when that came out, I was like, repeat. Right. repeat. When did that come out? Was that 2019 or 2020?
I'm looking right now. 2019.
2019.
And that was the last concert that I saw, literally, I think 2 weeks before COVID shut us down.
Wow.
Went to go see that show, and I think it was like the week after we were all done for.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Talk about going out with a bang.
Literally. Oh my God.
Also, wait, what was the Imperfections? That music video?
Mm-hmm.
The fashion icon? That's the other thing. Celine Dion, the fashion icon? Like, where is that coffee table book?
Right, literally.
Like that's the one.
That would be amazing. And I mean, and even with this like album photo shoot, I mean, in like the gold armor and things like that, like she was just giving, and thank you to Law Roach for just killing it every single time.
If there was ever a meeting I would have loved to have been in, it was to put Law Roach and Celine Dion in the same room and just let me watch.
That
just let me watch. I can't. The iconography, it's just too much. Like
no. I mean, I would be overstimulated and loving every second of it. It would just be so much.
I can't even imagine. He Law was just on Drag Race again. I just love.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh my
he was
gosh.
Guest judge. Just love.
I am so behind on Drag Race this season because I only like watch it when I'm like going to like a social thing with friends, and so it's been like a few weeks since I've done one of those, and so like. Is it over now? Did they have the winner?
No, this is. I think we're close. It's probably like two more episodes, maybe one or two, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're down to final. No, because nobody went home this week. So next week, I think will probably be a double elimination and then the final one.
Who's currently in the roster? Do you remember?
It is. Let's see. I'm always bad at this. It's Jules, who is the one that I'm rooting for the most.
I love Jules.
Jules Sparkles, Anya Nerve. Um, who else is still here? Oh my god. Sam Star. Yes.
Sam Star.
I'm like, why
Okay.
can't I remember anybody's names as
I
if
know.
I don't watch this every single week?
I know.
And I'm drawing a blank.
Okay. Yeah.
No shade to any of those girls, whatsoever. And I'm so sorry.
Drawing a blank.
Right, drawing a blank.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, like, that's kind of how I felt, though, like, watching it, because this is my first time watching it kind of, like, in real time. And I was like, it's really hard for me to keep up with who is who.
There's so many names.
And
once I get to, like, my top 3 of who I like, I'm like, those are the ones that I tend to focus on. And I'm like, all right, we'll see how the rest goes.
Yeah.
But Jules, like, pretty much almost instantly, I was like, her drag. I'm really into her drag. I mean, I love Anya Nerve, and I think that she would also be a deserved winner. She's been hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
But Susie Toot and Lexi Love.
Oh, okay. So that's a pretty solid top.
Yeah. So I feel like my top 3 is probably Jules Sparkles, Lexi Love, and Anya Nerve.
I love that. Yeah. I love Lexi.
Lexi reminds me so much of this girl that I hung out with in high school, or rather, I should say, this girl that I cut class in high school with to go like smoke cigarettes. And I'm like, she reminds me so much of Lexi that I'm like, I love her. I just love her.
Yeah. And I hate how much, at least, I don't know if they're still doing this, but like earlier in the season, they kept like alluding to how quote unquote old she is. And she's only 33.
Right. I was like, we all need to stop.
I was like, you guys, 33 is not old. 30s are not old.
But you know what? I don't even recall being in my 20s thinking that 30s was old.
No, not at all.
Which is the weird thing to me.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's strange that we've gotten to this point in time where like we are kind of considering 30s to be old. I'm like, even like 40s, like I don't necessarily like look at as being old per se.
No.
So it's like, come on, babe.
Look,
like,
it ain't over until it's over.
It ain't over till it's over. And I've seen a lot of 20-year-olds
say it.
who may or may not look like they are in their 30s and 40s.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm just saying that I do have to say there are a lot of people that I see that are like quite literally my age. And like sometimes I look at them and assume that they may be older than me considerably. And then when I learn that they are only like a year or two older than me or the same age, I'm like, oh, like, I'm like, okay,
right.
Okay. We've had different lives.
Right.
We have different lives and different genetics, and that is A-okay.
Some of us are rode hard and put away wet.
And some of them put away dry,
you know,
I would say. Very dry. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But, you know, and not to like completely shift gears, something that came out today, I did not get a chance to listen to just yet, but is Miley Cyrus Something Beautiful. She surprise release.
I saw the social media clip. I didn't see I haven't listened to any of it yet.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet either.
But yeah,
I'm excited for this new visual album.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. I think it'll be really good. I'm excited to see where she goes. I'm kind of getting another rock vibe from her, which I feel like that's her sweet spot, which let's celebrate that. And
yeah, but it's like, it's rock, but it's also like she's wearing Mugler, and it's like a whole like, let's do it all.
I'm into it. Yeah. I'm so into it. So I'm excited.
I think she's going to have the most interesting career. Because like when I was coming home last night, the girl Alex on my team, we were talking about the new deluxe tracks from Ariana and which ones we liked and everything. And I said, she really is going to be, I do believe, one of the greatest, I think, performers or like pop stars of the generation. Like for sure. Like I think
Miley
her career,
or
no, Ariana.
Ariana, yeah.
But I also feel like Miley will too, but her career path, I think, is going to be so interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she's going to want to do so many different outside of the box things. So I'm super excited to see what she's going to do.
Based on what I've seen, this is just based on the teasers, I don't think that she gives a fuck about commercial success with this. In the sense of like a top 10 number one hit.
Right.
you know. And I love that. I love when our pop girlies are getting experimental and trying something new. I'm so ready for it.
Well, and I think it's also like it's kind of hard to follow up Flowers.
Yeah, oh for sure. I mean, that's this runaway song.
Like,
That's a song, a once in a lifetime song
right,
that just
but can I also say I haven't heard it in a long time.
I haven't either. Yeah, haven't either. And it's
Literally broke records, was like
yeah.
crazy, won
But
Grammy.
but I think that that's what happens, is that I think that people don't necessarily realize this, but it's like it gets played so much that it's what's going to happen, similar to Despacito, Old Town Road, and whatnot, that we like have to separate ourselves from it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would say probably in like maybe 5-10 years, then people will probably start revisiting, or probably before then, these are all going to be like classic wedding songs. These are going to be songs that, you know, you're going to go to a wedding and you're going to definitely hear it because everyone knows it.
Yep.
And
I think it's also why the industry does this like 5-year anniversary, 10-year anniversary. Like, I think it's just sort of just to give themselves like more waves of like stuff on the music.
Yeah. Oh,
and
absolutely.
Because I guarantee you we're going to get that 5 years from Flowers.
For sure. Because I mean, Dua Lipa did that with Future Nostalgia, which she gave us that the Troye Sivan remix of Physical.
She is never letting that album go.
She's certainly not.
Nope,
she's certainly not. Nope. Really quick before songs we don't talk about enough, what did you think of the Brighter Days Deluxe?
I absolutely love it. I think she sounds beautiful as always. The vocals are vocaling, and I mean, it's again like she really like, if there's one thing, because I know that the Mariah and Ariana comparisons are always there, and again within good reason.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing, because I don't actually believe that their voices are similar.
No, I completely agree.
But I think that she's such a student of Mariah the producer and Mariah the songwriter that like the background vocals, especially on this album, are so like the Mariah type layering, and like just the trills and everything in the background is just decorated beautifully. And you know that that's Mariah's favorite part to do too. She's even said, I think she said in her masterclass that she, you know, she does lead vocals, but background vocals are her favorite because they give the texture and whatever. But it's Warm is obviously my favorite as a dance pop gay. I can't help it. Warm and Twilight Zone are probably my two favorites, but I love Hampstead.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not the easiest of listens to, but it's just stunning. She really 10 out of 10.
Yeah, the short film,
I still haven't watched it. I need to be in a safe space.
it's cute. I thought it was a really kind of brilliant way to create a film while like filming different visual aspects for the different songs that are featured in the film, and then being able to tie it together all as one piece. I thought it was kind of a brilliant way that they did that. And a very I really liked it a lot. And also there's like some nods to different films like X-Men and things like that, which was really cool. I'm with you. My favorite tracks are also Twilight Zone and Warm. The bonus tracks, the short film, the album as a whole, so like, you know, the already stuff that we have, I found that this is a hard album for me to listen to, subject matter wise, even though it's, you know, I say allegedly, I mean, we all kind of know that it's about her dissolved marriage from her ex-husband and, you know, finding new love with Ethan, even though she's back and forth on like whether it is about that or not. But the way I interpret a lot of the songs is like about unrequited love. So even though maybe that's not necessarily what she's singing about, so like specifically like We Can't Be Friends,
right?
I Wish I Hated You, the new song Twilight Zone, all of these things, like for me, because that's been a lot of my personal experience throughout my life, I love these songs. They're beautiful, but I have a very hard time listening to them.
Right.
And so it's like true like dancing, crying stuff. I know that we all talk about that kind of type of songs, those types of songs.
I love that.
Yeah, but
that's like my favorite type of song.
Yeah, but this is like one of those where I'm kind of like, this is challenging for me to actually listen to.
You're like, I'm not dancing, I'm just crying.
I'm just crying, and right. I'm like I have enough depression to deal with. But yeah, congratulations, Ariana. I feel like this. It seems like this might be the last project we get from her, and as far as pop music goes, for a little while. She's alluded to wanting to focus on acting. So
do it. do
Yeah,
it. Like,
I love
really,
that.
like, I don't like, again, like, the catalog is really strong.
Very strong. So let's go out with a bang, and we'll see you in a few years, you know?
Yeah, like, I mean, girl, and I will support you in whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, well, it's come to that famous segment of the show, songs we don't talk about enough, where we love to highlight a deep cut or bonus track or just a song that just doesn't get the love or the flowers that it deserves. John Michael, what is your song we don't talk about enough?
I'm going to keep it with Celine, and I'm going to
Okay.
pick one that's super random, and it's actually a song that I would listen to outside of the season because it's on her Christmas album.
Love that.
But Christmas Eve,
Okay.
another upbeat bop from Celine Dion that we do not talk about enough. It's got everything that you need for Christmas, but it's got that sort of like 50s doo-woppy kind of like, it almost feels like if you took whatever the music they're playing to the opening of Home Alone and put this song on top of it, it would absolutely work too.
I love
Like, it's
that.
good movie music, and if there's any movie people out there listening, like, this is a perfect song for sync for your Christmas movie. I promise. It's so good. It's such a feel good movie. It's such a feel good song, and it's
Uh,
just perfect Celine vocals.
she's she has such a good Christmas album too.
It's one of my favorites, easily
It's
one of my favorites. God bless
I
us, everyone.
God, don't even get me started. Oh
I
my god,
live.
don't make me peak. It's only March.
Stop. I live.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I brought this up on an earlier episode of the pod about that song written by Dee Snider of Twisted Sister. Let's celebrate that.
The insanity.
Crazy.
The absolute
Crazy.
insanity.
Um
And also her doing like John Lennon and Yoko Ono's Happy Christmas War is Over. Would
It's so
never have
good.
thought that would have worked. It works phenomenally.
Phenomenally. Yeah,
And even
I love
Feliz
her version.
Navidad.
Yeah, right, with her whole family.
Yes, I'm like, girl, yes.
Because nothing says, Hispanic holidays like Celine Dion.
Like 112 French Canadian family members in a room.
Exactly. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
I am gonna go. This kind of sparked in my brain when you had brought up the soda like bonus CD type of thing earlier. So I'm gonna go with this. So back in the day, Pepsi would, especially in Europe, Pepsi did a lot of heavy promo with pop stars.
Yep.
And to the point where like pop stars would write and perform original songs for their commercials. And Janet Jackson wrote a song called Ask for More. And I want to say 1999. And there were that not only did it have its original version, which is like 5 minutes long, there's also a remix by Masters at Work. So let's celebrate.
I don't know this.
Yep. So let's celebrate that. So there was a special CD single, and I don't know how. I don't own it. I would love to have it. I would love for it to get put on streaming, but like the song is a banger. The original version is like 3 different genres in one. It like kind of shapes throughout the song. And then
oh my god, you're absolutely right. I'm looking for it right. I'm looking it up right now.
Yep, and then there's a Masters at Work remix, and
wow.
Yeah, I'm like the budget that they put into this. There's even like, I want to say, I don't know if this is like an official version out on CD, but they also did a commercial, like a Spanglish version with, I think Ricky Martin does it with Janet on it as well.
Which makes sense because I'm looking it up now, and it was written by Janet Jackson, Jimmy James and Terry Lewis, and Renee Elizondo Jr.
Yep. So let's celebrate that.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is wild, Zach. You got me. You got me on this one. Yes, with the little Louis Vega remix.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna find this and I will own it a week from now.
There we go. And then you can play it the next time you DJ at Tavern or wherever. And
we'll make sure that you have it on your phone.
Please. Please. Because I don't think I have either of those files in high quality anymore.
Oh yeah.
I had them back in the day, and then I lost them. So
what's crazy too is that it looks like it was released under Pepsi Music, which is something I'm unsure of, and I'm looking now, and apparently this is something that Pepsi really did for quite some time. They have a whole like list of songs and artists that they've worked with around the world.
Yeah, I mean they did like the Britney jingles. I mean, I'm not kidding. Pepsi put all of the Britney Pepsi jingles on streaming.
Please. Please, just The Joy of Pepsi. I would be so excited.
The Joy of Pepsi, the New Millennium version that she did, where it was like, "Can feel the joy all around."
Yes.
And like, oh my God.
The We Will Rock You cover.
The We Will Rock You cover.
Give me that.
The European exclusive Right Now Taste the Victory.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Put them on streaming. What are we doing?
Yes. Oh my God. See, this is how you can tell that there's not enough gays in the music industry.
Right.
There are, but they're not doing the right jobs.
Exactly.
Because we need the data gays. The data gays need to get in there and just start pulling strings from the tape libraries and being like, all right, let's get this up.
Exactly. Get the nails out.
I swear to God, in my next career, that's what it's going to be.
There we go.
Keeper of the keys.
That. Keeper of the keys. Well, with that said, thank you so much again for joining.
Thank you.
This has been an absolute pleasure. Everyone stay safe out there. And until next time, peace out.
Bye.